Yay, true believers. Chris Mack coming at you with Batman the Detective #1. And tell me, am I taking crazy pills? Because I did not hear hide nor hair of this book. Like on social media, for example, you'll see DC or Marvel, whomever is the publishing company, talking about their books. They'll talk about the big ones, like whether it be X-Men or Batman, Superman, etc., so forth. But all these runoff books, like I'm thinking the way that this reads is essentially an Elseworld read. And I've not seen hide nor hair announcement of this. Am I just missing something? Because I kind of feel like all these books are being pushed out and there's no promotion for them. So, to me, that's just kind of like, do you want to sell your books? So maybe I'm just missing something. That's why I miss back in the day when you would have Wizard magazine. I know a lot of people say print is dead, but I would much rather have physical reading of Wizard magazines. If you ever read those from the 90s and whatnot, those things were awesome and it made you feel like part of a community, as where social media feels a little more cold in terms of parts of that. So again, let me know if I am taking crazy pills or not. So with that said, let's jump into Batman the Detective. And we start off on an air flight. And you see a stewardess counting the passengers off. Everyone seems to be asleep and pacified. Now what's interesting is the book starts off with action. So what I like is how she's like, all passengers are accounted for. I want you all to know this isn't your fault. It's his. This is because of Batman. And you're just thinking, wait, what? And then, boom, action right off the bat. You're just kind of like, okay, we're going to get some good stuff. And I love the artwork. Like, the plane, maybe a little 3D modelish, but I love, the onomatopoeia here going boom. Got the smoke. It's a dynamic panel. And then we see this hero jump into action. If I'm not mistaken, this is Night, which I'm not 100% sure if I'm reading their name right. Is it Beryl or Beryl? Because it's obviously not Cheryl. I think it's Beryl Hutchinson, a.k.a. Night. So, as you can see, this is a new Knight, or from what I understand, the original Squire. So this takes place in the future. And again, look at this paneling. Absolutely spectacular, the way it's just falling. And there's something about equilibrium. And and then, of course, something here happens tonight. I'm not going to give it away. But the one thing I do want to point out that when you guys read this, remember Batman 147. That is important. Now, I love to give y'all, what do you call it? The rundown of who made this book, but for whatever reason, I am having one heck of a time finding the credits. And that's one thing about these newer books that I will admit drive me nuts. Is, back in the day, it'd be on the front cover, and you'd be good to go. Nowadays, they'll hide it like 7 or 8 pages in. Yeah, okay, so let's jump here. I found it. I don't like that. That's just a really frustrating part, because it kind of makes you feel lost, because you want to intro the creative team before you even go into the book, and then you're like 4 pages in, and you're just, it drives me nuts. Pet peeve. Anyway, Batman the Detective, Part 1. This is Andy Kubert, pencils and inks, Tom Taylor writing, Brad Anderson colors, Clem Robbins letters. Here's everyone else working on the book. Batman was created by Bill Finger with Bob Kane. Now, again, this is part of the, what is that new thing after Future State? Infinite something or others. Whatever. As you can see here, there's where it says, it's time for the Bat to leave the cave forever. So something happens that finally pushes Bruce to just leave Gotham. Which I in a sense, like, okay, again, this is Elseworlds, which, if they're going to start doing Elseworld tells, I wish they would put the Elseworlds imprint back on the books. If you guys remember from, the 90s through the late or early 2000s when they would do an Elseworld, they would actually have the little logo so you would know. As where this, you have to kind of read it and be like, okay, well, this is completely outside of continuity. So just bring it back. Or, if what is it, Black Label's the new Elseworlds, and throw this, throw Black Label on this. Just to kind of help people out, because Elseworlds, way back when, was always fun. It was rarely, it was rare that I ever picked up an Elseworld book that I hated. Some of them will go over, and still near and dear to my heart. So the whole, what's the word I'm looking for? You guys need to, hook me up with some coffee so I'm not sitting here dropping the ball like this. The whole thing revolves here is that Bruce leaves Gotham, which I don't think he would ever do. But again, this is an Elseworld, so you can kind of do what you want with the characters without really feeling like you've completely torn apart what they are at their core. And we end up going to, what's this place called? Lancashire, I believe is how you pronounce it. So this is where Bruce is taking up residence for the time being. And as you can see, Kubert's artwork, along with the rest of the creative team here, just beautiful. A lot of the panels I'm not bored with. That, both Kubert's Andy and Adam, whenever I'd read them, whether it be on a DC book or a Marvel book, I was always engaged. That's why back in the day when it was Hama and Kubert on Wolverine, one of my favorite times to be alive. But I love